want to see the kind of industries that are opening up.
This is Local Biz Now with Joe Vagnone, where your business matters. Local Biz Now.
You have to determine what is working, what isn't working.
Joe Vagnone is a respected business broker, helping individuals buy and sell businesses. Joe has successfully owned and operated many companies in a variety of industries. This is Local Biz Now. Biz Now, because your business matters.
Yeah. You are listening to the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina. We're coming to you from Burner Cigar Studio, home of the finest premium cigars and cigar smokers in the world. Great people, premium cigars. Life is good at Burner Cigars, located in Brookdale Village and in Denver on Highway 16. We hope to inspire, inform, and entertain you, because that's what we do here at News Talk WSIC, 105.9 FM, 100.7 FM, 1400 AM. I am Joe Vagnone. This is Local Biz Now, where your business matters. Now, every Monday, I start the show by telling people I am the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina. Let me just prove it to you for those that want to challenge me, which it happens often, you understand. We have been doing this show. It will be 12 years in September. So we've been doing this strong. Well over 929 interviews and community leaders over the years. I know this because Julie does a McDonald's a customer served on my report every week, and this week it is 929 small business owners and community leaders. We have on my Facebook channel, Joe Vagnone Business Broker. Again, Joe Vagnone Business Broker on a YouTube channel. We have 744 interviews. They're broken up into great sections. It really is a great place to go and gather information. Or I bet you if there's an industry you're interested in, I have interviewed somebody that owns something in that industry. And the entire show, the concept is based on talking with owners. So these are real people with real solutions, real challenges, and we have real conversations. We have 162 subscribers on the YouTube channel. Now, I know that's not a lot, but we're really excited because we can remember when we just started the YouTube channel, we had 2. So please go and subscribe to Joe Vagnone Business Broker on YouTube. We would appreciate it. We are live on the book, live on the tube, live on the X, and live on the chain. For those of you that don't know Joe Talk, that is Facebook, YouTube, X, and LinkedIn. We are live. We're also a podcast. You can listen to us there if you would, and we do appreciate it. And so, this show is going to be absolutely spectacular. I have a friend, whether he will admit it or not, Keith Lee. He wrote a book I think you might remember, those of you that listen to the show often, The Happy Customer Handbook. I have been receiving a newsletter from him by email for years. And today I asked him, I begged him, Julie really got him to do it, you understand, to come on the show. And we're going to talk about some of the things he talks about in his newsletters. It's just an excellent interview that you're going to find a lot of information. There's very few people that know as much as Keith Lee about customer service and employment, and we're going to do that in the second half of the show, so stay tuned, and Keith will be with us to talk with that. But for the first part of this show, this segment, I want to talk about something. I've been asked this many times, ever since the Trump Liberation Day, small business people have asked me to sort of weigh in. What's my thought on tariffs? How's it going to affect small business people? And I've been doing some research. I've been making some notes for about a month or so on this. Couldn't decide whether I wanted to talk about it, because honestly, I can go either way on this. And so what I decided to do was I went to the Google, went to the Terminator. Those of you that don't know, that's AI. I call it the Terminator. I went back through some of my notes over the years, and I put a bunch of stuff together. We're not going to get to all of it, but I want to walk through some stuff with some of you small business people and get you to understand my view or my position on this. Before I do that, I have to warn you. Those of you that have been listening to the show for all these many years know that my partner and good friend, literally years ago, when we very first started this show, asked me to be on the show with him and also coach small business people with him. And he's just a phenomenal coach, one of the smartest people I've ever met, Wayne Beidelman. He was actually an actuarium and a hugely intelligent, sharp guy and a great salesperson. And together, he and I put together what we call the Ultimate Advisory Board, advising small business owners for about 5 years. And Wayne used to say, Joe, I teach, you preach. And so that is so true. I did not like doing the coaching because I used to tell people, the problem with coaching for me is I had to live my mistakes all over again through the people I was coaching. That being said, I'm warning you because I might get preachy here. If I do, excuse me, it's the only way I know how to present some of this. But let me just provide you with some ideas. 99% of all U.S. business that is conducted through small business. There are 35 million small business owners in the United States. There are 45% of all employees in the United States work for a small business owner. So this concept, when we talk about small business, it's you and I, and it is to us the best we can do, but small business is absolutely the foundation of capitalism in the United States. So I know the conversation is always about big business and the stock market, but the truth is these tariffs are going to be made or destroy business based in the small business section. And I want to be able to just give you my thoughts on that. I also wanted to break it down for us here in North Carolina. It's sort of this, well, before I do that, let me just tell you this. I told you there's approximately 35 million small business owners, small businesses in the United States. There are only 222,000. Now, 222,000 sounds like a lot, but out of 35 million, only 222,000 of them actually have revenue of over $2 million. So I want you to think about that. So most of us small business people are doing under $2 million in sales. So that's who I'm talking to. That's who I think there's going to be a challenge for this tariff. And I wanted to talk to you about this. I got a few ideas on how I think small business people can make it through. And I'm gonna head to a break, and let me get you with this right here. Don't increase your prices, increase your client base. That's what we're going to talk about when we come back. You are listening to WSIC, where your business matters. We'll be right back. Jojo, we good?
Yeah, good. If you want to talk to your guest,
Yes.
I got him unmuted.
Okay. Lee, one more section and you're on.
Okay, good enough.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
God dang it. I thought I turned that off.
Lee, I hate that you have to hear me ramble, but I've been putting this off for a month now. I got to get to it. Did you lose him? That's okay. The whole next section is mine anyways. You got 15 minutes to get him back.
All right. We got about 40 seconds.
Yeah. You are listening to the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina. I am Joe Bagno, and this is Local Biz Now, where your business matters. We were talking about the tariffs and what small businesses should do based on my view. Before I tell you, let me say this. I am a small business broker out of Charlotte, North Carolina. So if you're paying somebody, if somebody is advising you on what to do, take their advice before you take Joe's. If you don't know what to do, then let me tell you some thoughts that I think are a good place for you to start. And I ended the last segment by saying, don't increase your prices, increase your client base and exposure. It's what I remember doing in the past when I had a closet manufacturing business and some other businesses that had these multiple suppliers in different places. And I'm telling you now, the suppliers that are supplying you, the vendors that you are using now, have just as much fear of losing you as you do that they're not going to be able to provide you the product or service that you need, or that you're afraid that you're going to lose a client. It's time to form a solid relationship with them. And if you do that well, it will work out to your benefit. Here's what I know. I know that the large companies are afraid of, and you have the edge, which is you. Small business people, all of us, got in business because there's something we do that's extraordinary. And because of that extraordinary skill that you have, knowledge that you have, relationship that you have, product that you have, that is what you want to form a foundation on right now during this uncertainty. So take that, let that be your foundation, and go back out after the market and try and recapture market share. Now's the time to do that. That's where I would head. And it doesn't really matter whether you're in the restaurant business and you want to create a breakfast special. Don't hear me telling you what or how to approach that. I don't know your industry. Hear me say, don't let the first thing you do be to raise your prices. Now, listen, it's really tricky for me to say that because some of the biggest mistakes I have seen small business people make are not raising prices fast enough. So I'm not opposed to you raising your prices. Most of you out there may very well should have risen your prices years ago. I've seen that where you get afraid to upset a customer. But in this case, what I'm suggesting is if you will put some things together, you can capture the market in a way that is absolutely strategic and tactful, and your competitors, especially the larger ones, will not be able to reach. And there's a trust, there's a relationship factor. And I'm not suggesting you just go after the client. Ask yourself this question. Do you really think a 145% increase is going to be all landed down on the customer? I don't. I think that is a negotiation that's going to happen from the manufacturer all the way through to the customer. You want to get on the front end of that, and you want to be a part of negotiating. And I promise you, your suppliers and your vendors will participate that in a huge way. If you form relationships, form long-term contracts with them, you will be able to reduce, hear that word, reduce what you're paying, and also create real value for your customers, because you can give both ends of the spectrum a guarantee for current pricing, not increase. You've got this window of opportunity before the actual price goes up. Take advantage of it, go after and create a client base in a way that I think will be substantially beneficial to you. Also, do a lot of marketing. Don't spend a lot of money on marketing, but do a lot of marketing going out after who you know to be, we call them target clients. Clients you've always wanted, tried to get, couldn't get. Go after them now. It's the right place, right time to take advantage of that. It will benefit you substantially. That's an important piece of this puzzle, because if you're just going to sit and wait, you're going to fail. You have to go out, let them know you are prepared to give them a price guarantee that others are not willing to do, and you're going to do that now. I don't mind you absorbing some of the costs for a short period of time so you don't have to increase your prices. That's an okay thing to do. Remember, what I'm talking to you about is this 90 to 100-day window where everybody else doesn't know what's happening, but suppliers haven't actually been hit with higher costs yet. Try and take a look at that. Also, target competitors' weakness. What you're strong at means they're weaker. Go after them. Offer some type of benefit, value, bundle some products or services. It will create real attention in your customer's eyes, or your target customer's eyes, that will give value where there is no value today. That will be very helpful for you. I also want you to consider investing in some marketing that you otherwise haven't done. I don't want you to burn money, but I certainly want you to think about something you've been thinking about doing for years. Now might be the time to do that. And so those are times, and it's a great way to market and advertise the relationships, the contacts, and the skill sets that you have that your competitors don't have. Now's the time to do that. Do the best you can at streamline your operations. You know, we all talk about it, but it's really important that you really take a look at your business and make sure that you are, in fact, streamlining and optimizing as much as you possibly can. Take advantage of I hate to say AI all the time, but the truth is most of our businesses can benefit from it in some way or another. And if you got products or service that weren't selling a year ago, don't try and keep them on now and fight through the supply challenge and the pricing challenge. Move on with new products and services that you know will sell. I want you to think through this if you're a small business person. I think it's going to have a lot of value for you. And I don't think it is being seriously considered by most of us small business people that are out there. Now, what I tried to do, because I know some of you out there are like, yeah, it sure is easier for Joe on the radio to say that than it is to actually make it happen. And here's what I want you to think about. I wrote 7 touch points or tactics to go after new clients. In other words, I think if you try and reach your clients about 7 times, these are target clients and current clients that you already have, I think you will find that you will pick up new clients, because they are just as uncomfortable and unsure as you are. And if you can give them some kind of security or guarantee, I got to be honest with you, instead of beating my head up against the wall to get a new client and spend thousands of dollars per new client, how about if I just give a discount to a client that a brand new client instead? And so, yeah, sure, my margins aren't as strong for the next year or so, but I picked up that client. And I think now's the time to do that. And so what I want to talk about is leveraging your social media, going after them in a big way, letting them know exactly what it is you do. Email blasts are really important. You know, Julie and I send out email blasts. We're getting ready to talk to a master, Keith Lee, in a minute. And email blasts are just a very effective way to let them know what you can do, will do, and what you promise and guarantee that you'll do for them. You know, word of mouth, you know, a better way to put that is just referrals. It's time for you to start asking for referrals. Good clients, good suppliers, good vendors will refer you. And it's important that you know who the client is that's referring, or the vendor that's referring, or the supplier that's referring you. But also, it is a good form of business. It's good. It's healthy. You need to start doing more of that. Ask for the referral. Direct mailer, I think, is still one of the top ways to actually produce additional revenue from current clients, depending on how you market it, and additional new targeted clients. And it's not that expensive at all. Again, we're getting ready to talk to Keith Lee, and he'll be able to send us in the right direction on something like that as well. And lastly, one of the touch points is create this industry summary. Let your clients, your target clients, family and friends and referral basis, vendors, let them know what you think about the industry, the timing, and how you intend on working through it. That will make them feel comfortable. Your plan that has a direction to it will make vendors and clients more comfortable that you've thought this thing through. And I'm almost confident you will pick up real new target clients. And I want you to give that some serious thought. I think it will work to your benefit. Also, it's really important that you dig into social media, digital marketing. Do it in a cheap way, but you just got to be a part of it. Most of us older folks don't like it, but you really do need to dig into it because it's a cheap way to get the name and the message out there. I would like to say, most of us probably do this well if we're an older business person. Some of the younger ones don't do this well. Get involved in your community. This is the best way to start and promote and create referrals. Get involved in the community in a way that will help you, in my opinion, make connections and contacts that should be low-lying fruit for you, especially during these challenging times. They're not going to be buying based on cost. They're going to be buying based on relationships. And that's the perfect time to do that. And that is the point to this, which is you have things to offer that larger companies cannot offer. That's what I want you to focus on. I also think you need to do some co-branding, some co-marketing, some sort of joint ventures with some other companies doing things similar to yours. And you can, again, through community building, you'll find that to be a lot easier than you think it would be. Give these things some thought. I've been thinking through this. I know it's a big question. A big statement to say don't increase your prices in the middle of this tariff situation or uncertainty, but I want you to think about working through it from a different angle through different relationships. You are listening to Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnone, and your business matters. We'll be right back. Okay, Keith, you're up next, buddy.
Okay, hey Joe, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
You want to talk about some of that stuff for your social media people that might not hit on with the customer service? For instance, referrals. I had a referral program where I would get close to 1,000 new. Now I had 12,000 customers, not 1,000. I would get around 500 new clients a year through my referrals from my other customers, because I had a real program. I didn't just, for instance, we gave the guy who referred someone to us $25 in value they could buy from us. The person they referred also got $25 from us. But then we also ran a program where whoever referred the most new clients to us in a year got a cruise, a one-week cruise in the Caribbean. Whoever referred the customers who bought the most dollars from us also got a one-week cruise for two. And then everybody who referred anybody to us got their name in the drawing for everybody they referred to us, and they got a one-week cruise. We would literally have people towards the end of the month, end of the year, calling us up and saying, "Where am I at? Am I going to get the most new people?" They couldn't really make a difference on how much they spent, but they could go out and get another one. And they'd call us up and they'd say, "Where am I?" And it would be like, "Well, you're behind by 2. So and so has got you beat." And we would literally have that going on at the end of the year. And we had enough. Our clients were worth enough money that that kind of giveaway worked really good to get hundreds of new not leads. These weren't leads. These were people that had to buy something from us.
Right.
So referrals. The other thing I'd say for those social media people that are listening right now, someone once asked Dan. It wasn't Dan. It was somebody else. A marketing guy. No. How do I get 100 new customers? And he says, "Well, I don't have any idea one way you'd get 100 new customers, but I know 100 ways to get one new customer." And I think that's what you were talking about a lot here, is you're talking about just do a lot of stuff. And now is the time to do that.
So when we come back, let's I want to introduce you. I want to let them know who you are, and then let's talk a little bit about that. Let's give them that
okay, but I get off on all kinds of tangents. We were supposed to talk customer service.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. Because believe me, I'm talking about this tariff stuff because it keeps coming up. I mean, it is, and you know what's so uncomfortable when you're in this small business setting. You don't know how much of it is hype and media and really filtering into the economy, right? So I'm not an economist, so I don't really know whether these changes have actually happened or not, right? And so a lot of times what I see is small business people acting on things that don't actually happen yet. And so their business and P&L and balance sheet don't represent what they're seeing in the media, but yet they will act on it. And in fact, they may be turning away from a program that's working strong for them. So I have to be careful, and sometimes when I give them this advice, I have to remind myself, hey, I'm just a small business broker, right? I'm not the guy trying to tell them what to do. I just want them to hear the concepts and the ideas. So when a guy like you comes on and gives them these ideas, believe me, it's very helpful for them to hear that.
Well, and the other thing we can maybe talk, in 40 years of being in businesses, I saw some huge downturns. And every time it was, are we going to survive? Well, guess what? We survived. The economy turned around and we're here. And that's what's going to happen with this one too. They'll survive. The ones that do, 100 different things to get a new customer are going to do just fine. Right.
Okay. We got 30 seconds and we're going live. Is that on?
During the break.
It is hot in here.
It is hot in here.
You could tell I was hot, couldn't you?
I'm hot.
We got a new studio, Keith, so we're still working out the bugs and that sort of stuff.
Yeah, I get it.
The owner asked me to move here. I went home and told my wife, I'm going to move to the new studio. I don't think I was asked. I don't think I had a choice. Here I am.
10 seconds.
Yeah. You are listening to the #1 live talk business show in North Carolina. I am Joe Vagnone. This is Local Biz Now, where your business matters. I have my friend, whether he will admit it or not, Keith Lee. He is the author of the Happy Customer Handbook, and he is so much more. He's patiently been listening in on the show. Keith, my friend, thank you, buddy, for being here. I do appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure. Good to be back again, Joe.
So, Keith, let everybody know exactly what it is you do and why I follow you so closely with your newsletters that you've been sending over the years.
Well, though what you follow me with actually went further along than my main business. My main business I had for 40 years, and very early on in that business, I sold it 10 years ago, but very early on in that business, I decided that I watched Tom Peters and Robert Waterman on In Search of Excellence, and I wanted our business to be the customer service business, and really be known for that. And they got me on board. I was on board totally. I ended up in 1992, I started sending out a newsletter similar to your program here. You want to give people some really good information about running their businesses, and along the side, hey, maybe when they get ready to sell, they'll contact you.
That's right.
And so that's what I did for my newsletter. I basically gave them, and I thought, what information can I give them to help them be good businesses? And since I was so set on customer service for my own business, most of that information I gave them ended up being on customer service. And then in the newsletter, I would try to sell a few things, but that was like 25% of the newsletter. And the other part, I would try to make sure they remembered me when they needed something. So that's what I did. When emails came in, I started doing the same thing. I started sending them emails about customer service twice a week. And then one day, not one day, but people started asking me, hey, do you have all of this stuff on customer service in one place? And by the time I thought, wow, maybe I'll do that. So I started putting it together. And by the time I put it together, I had a book, the Happy Customer Handbook. And then they asked me, so how do you teach your team to do this? And I said, well, so then I produced a system that they can use to teach their team to do this stuff on an ongoing basis. And basically that is consistently and persistently reminding your team of your customer service expectations. And so that turned into, I became a customer service guru, if you will. And again, I sold that business that had, we did business with 12,000 other businesses every year about 10 years ago, but I continue to do the customer service stuff because I like it.
So the website, keithlee.com, it has the training formulas and information and data that you're speaking of, correct?
It does. And I've got some other systems in there too, but if you're specifically looking at customer service, go there, click on the customer service, and you'll see what that has to do. What that's about.
Don't get ahead of yourself, because there is some other stuff I want to talk about.
Okay.
But two things real quick. So I knew you and I, because you and I have only met twice, right?
Yep.
Both times on the show.
Yep.
I knew you and I were sort of kindred spirits. And in your email at the bottom, your tagline, it says, the purpose of owning a small business is to live your life the way you want to live your life. And I've been telling people my whole life, I'm not self-employed since I was 17 years old because I want to make money. I'm 17. I'm self-employed since 17 because I didn't want a boss, right? I wanted to get up in the morning and I wanted to do what I wanted to do, and that goal certainly turned into making money in a good life, but it wasn't the primary thing of just quote making money. And what you write just kind of resonate with me on that. Is it sort of a lifestyle for you as well?
Yeah, what ended up happening is, and this is not on the customer service, this is on the other stuff you'll find at the website, but it's around the same time, probably in the early 1990s, I was just fed up with my business because it was running me. I wasn't running it. I felt that the larger my business grew, the more headaches I had. And at that time, I was only doing about, not only, but I was doing about $2 million a year. Well, by the time I sold it, I was doing $15 million a year, and I spent my time doing what I wanted to do. I did the marketing in the business. I didn't do hardly anything else. And I actually did take a lot of vacations every year. And
Right.
I coached water polo. I did the things I wanted to do. Plus, I had a good business that I loved doing that too. But that's the whole idea behind do what you want to do when you want to do it. Most people end up
that's not
them.
And Keith, that's not a definition for lazy, right? I mean, when you get up in the morning, we work really hard, right? But we work really hard on what we want to work on.
Right. And the thing is once you put the systems in place for your business, and once you have a good performance management system on top of that, so you have the systems, that goes back to like Michael Gerber stuff, that you have everything documented and you have it, and your team actually does that. You don't write all that stuff up. You have your team work with you on that. They get all of those things together. You have all of your systems, which means you write down the way you want to do every single thing in your business. And then at the bottom of that, it says, do this exactly like this, unless it doesn't take care of the customer. If it doesn't take care of the customer, take care of the customer and then do what you need to do to get this changed. Okay. So the whole idea is to, and this gets into another part we talk about that is empowerment. You empower your team to make decisions and to do things. That doesn't happen overnight. You have to have a system to put that system in place. And then once you have that going on and you've delegated your team to do things, and now all of a sudden, and not delegated, empowered, okay? You delegate them for a while, but then eventually you empower them so it becomes their job and it becomes their responsibility. If you have that just delegated, that means it's still up to you to make sure it gets done properly, and you're making the decisions on how to do it. Eventually you want to get your team and even some of your lower people. Now you're not going to empower them to do everything, but we had our salespeople empowered to take care of customers when they had customer service issues, whatever way they wanted. They were empowered to do that. Now, some of them, they would, and I never had anybody that did more than what I would have told them they could do. Right. They took care of customers. Okay. It's amazing. They'll come to you and they'll ask before they go and give away the business. They're going to come to you and say, "Hey, Keith, can I do that?" And 9 times out of 10, I'm going to say, "Yeah, you can do that."
So Keith, we only have a minute for this segment. But what is it about Happy Customer Handbook that makes it so unique, right? I mean, when I read it, these are simplistic issues, but they hit to the core as if nobody else has been able to put all them together. Why is that Keith Lee found this? And again, I apologize. I only got about 30 seconds here.
Just working on it. I mean, and the thing that I wanted the book to be was not what you would read in any other customer service book. Now, some of it is, of course. But for instance, one of the things in the book is the golden rule doesn't work. Do not tell people to treat people how they want to be treated. Right. And we maybe get back to that after the break here.
Let's do that.
That is not what you teach.
This is a live radio show, so I got to go to a hard break. We'll be right back. We're talking with Keith Lee. He is the author of Happy Customer Handbook. You are listening to Local Biz Now, where your business matters. We'll be right back.
So, Joe, you mentioned at the beginning there that what these small businesses have is you. That's not what big businesses don't have that.
Right.
And that gets to one of my other points that I make is that people don't like to buy from businesses, but people like to buy from business, but from people. People like to buy from people. So you need to train your team to put themselves into the customer service interaction. Okay. They need to have some personality, and you need to tell them that, yeah, go ahead and use that. Now you have to make sure they're using it properly, and you have to have some oversight to a degree. And the other thing I teach, well, the biggest thing we teach our new salespeople is to make a friend. If that guy on the other end of the line becomes a friend, they're not going to buy from somebody else if the price is anywhere near yours.
Right.
Now that doesn't mean you sit there and chit chat all the time, but you take care of them the same way you would take care of a friend.
Right. And they're just going to be uncomfortable leaving, they're
Absolutely.
They're just not going to do it. I mean, my experience is they'll tell me the number that I got to meet. Right. Yep. And I'll say, hey, I can't, but what if I throw in this and I can discount? Now, all of a sudden, the bundling gets us both where we need to be.
Exactly right. Exactly right.
So we come back, let's touch on some of that because it's too good to ignore. So we'll touch on the referral and also B&U. When we come back, we'll touch on both those. Normally, Keith, okay. When you're in the studio, I can go like this, which means, wrap up what you're saying, so we can go to break.
Yep.
I can't do that with you now. So I will just say 31 minute, 30 seconds, so you know exactly. Because you can't see me when you're talking, right? So.
Yep.
All right, here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2.
Yeah. You are listening to Local Biz Now. I am talking with Keith Lee. He is the author of Happy Customer Handbook. He is a master at customer service, and as we're talking off the air, a master at so many things. I don't have enough time in the show to get to them. Hey, Keith, thank you so much, my friend. I really do appreciate you doing this with me. You heard the first part of the show. You heard me talk about some things. First of all, feel free to disagree with me anytime you want. That's what this show's all about, and the owner calls that good radio. So don't think I'll be upset. But one of the things I talk about is, in this particular case, the edge that most of us small business people have is us. There's something we do that is extraordinary. You had some thoughts on that. Talk a little bit about that.
Well, when you're with a big business, they typically have a bunch of rules, and they set them down for the people that are working with you day to day, and they can't break them. Okay. One of the things that I like to tell people is that people don't like buying from businesses. They like buying from people, though. They do like buying from people. So what we teach our salespeople is to be people, to put their personality in it. The very first thing we tell any new salesperson is you need to make a friend. If you make a friend of that person that's buying from you, they are going to be really uncomfortable leaving you. Now, that doesn't mean you sit and you chit chat this about that and everything else, and that you waste their time and your time, doing that stuff. But it really means you take care of them the same way you would take care of a friend, and you ask them good questions that aren't necessarily always selling questions, but questions about how you can help their business. So again, and
you have to really believe that. I mean, they got to trust and believe you really do want to help them. That is an important factor here.
Well, and that has to come from you.
Right.
That has to come from you as the boss. I mean, we have three values in our business. Number one is take care of our team members. Number two is take care of the client. Number three is don't do anything illegal or unethical, or actually it's be a good member of society. Okay. So when they understand that, and they're in that order for a reason, we take care of our team members. And because as managers and owners of the business, if we take care of them, they will almost automatically take care of our customers.
Okay,
we don't
so
have to give them some phony stuff.
Okay, you just stepped into it. First of all, someone on Facebook is saying, talk just a little bit about the golden rule. They want to hear that specifically.
Okay, well, the golden rule of teaching your team and thinking that it's customer service by saying treat people the way you want to be treated can be an absolute disaster nowadays. It might have been good years ago, but especially if you have people on your team that are younger or that type of thing. But the reality is people have no idea what great customer service looks like because they've never had it.
Okay.
And especially if they're young.
Right. Now that's there's two more things I want to talk about here. So you write in one of the emails that I got, the business manager made fun of the customer and joked about him and how stupid they were, even to the point of make fun of what the customer looked like. And you go on to say in this email, how can anybody, any employee, trust that manager or think that manager is going to give them good training on customer service? So this all goes back to character of the people training customer service.
Yeah, I was in my early 20s when I remember that story, and I worked in the grocery store, and the store manager would literally make fun of some of our customers and the way they dressed and the way they talked, and the reason I bring that up in my book is you absolutely cannot do that. Okay, you can't do that if you want your team to really respect your customers, respect your clients, and give them the kind of customer service you want to give them. You need to model that all the time. You are on stage all the time.
And then you go on to talk about you have to be very specific. You have to teach them, look them in the eye, say, smile. I mean, these are simplistic things that, honestly, you go back and the only person that told you these things might be your mom and dad, right? Like you got to create these basic scenarios. That's how you start the foundation of customer service. Am I interpreting this correctly?
Yep, you have to teach them how to smile. Smile is not with your face.
Isn't that just remarkable that you have to do that? I mean, when I read this, I'm like, he is so right, but it's amazing that you have to do that.
Yeah, it can't be that smile that's the phony take a picture smile. A smile resonates from your eyes as much as it does from your mouth, okay? And people can tell that phony mouth smile. And you also need to look them in the eye. When you greet them, you look them in the eye and say, welcome, it's good to have you here. When they leave, you look them in the eye again and say, thank you. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Again, so you really need to get to, and that's what the Happy Customer Handbook is all about, is some of these little things that seem little, but they're huge. Look them in the eye, smile, give them a greeting. When you're done, also look them in the eye contact. Now, this is not staring,
right.
It's just eye contact. Okay, it's just a quick eye contact thing. It's not some big, I got to hypnotize this person or something like that.
This reminds me.
You got to train all that.
That's right. It is amazing, but I want small business people to hear that. What this reminds me of, years ago, we did a survey, and we took some of our people through the Wendy's drive-through, and we asked them we timed how long it took them to go through the drive-through, and we used two different women as going to the drive-through, right? Two different women were the at the counter, right, at the window, and right. One of the women was efficient, and I mean literally, you had ordered and got your food in less than a minute and a half, right? Which is perfect for a Wendy's. And the other woman was slow and chit-chatting and oh, wait a minute, honey, I forgot your straw. And, 3 minutes later, you're driving away, right? And then we asked 17 people, which one did you like and what experience did you like better? Keith, 12 of the 17 like the slower service. And
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
I mean,
And it depends, you
that's
just,
right. That's right.
you
I mean,
know-
you would have floored me. I'd have thought they would have liked the 1 minute service, but it isn't just about efficiency. It is about this connection, this relationship that they get.
Right. And again, that's about putting you, and again, it's huge for us, putting you into every customer service interaction, and getting that type of thing done.
So one of the things you write about is customer satisfaction is worthless. Customer loyalty is priceless. You said you got that from Jeffrey Gitomore's book, which I've not read, by the way.
Oh, it's a great book.
I thought I read all of Jeffrey's stuff. Customer satisfaction is worthless. Customer loyalty is priceless. I love the statement. Where does loyalty come from? How do you gain that loyalty instead of satisfaction? There seems to be a defining difference there.
Yeah, and again, it comes down to all the small things you do to give great customer satisfaction and beyond satisfaction. A satisfied customer, if they get a better price, they'll likely go somewhere else. A satisfied customer, if they get some poor service one time, they may go somewhere else. But a loyal customer who knows that blip that is not your great service, they know that's a blip, and they know that they're going to get great customer service next time they come in. And so it's all of the things. It's very simple things like in our business, nobody goes through some kind of phone answering thing.
Right.
We have a person that actually answers the phone and listens to them and gets them moving in the right direction really quickly. I just had that this morning. I had to call Verizon. And by the time I got to this gal, I was so frustrated because I had to do all of their stuff and go through it like 3 times to get the right thing. And then the reality is that with her, she finally took care of me so well that I finally told her when she asked, how did I do? I said, well, you did fantastic, but your phone thing is absolutely horrible. but thank you for what you did for me today.
So
but it's all of those things.
Right.
And so what I'd like to do is make sure that, people understand that book is really cheap, $2.95, $2.97, covers shipping and handling. The book is free. And what you do is all of those 59 different things is what you do to create loyal customers.
And Keith, please remind them where they can get the book at.
Just thehappycustomerhandbook.com. So
thehappycustomerhandbook.com.
Yep. And you were talking about the emails that you like to get from us.
That's right.
They'll start getting emails from me and that type of thing that'll remind them of that type of what they should be doing and things they can pass on to their team. And if they ever want to cancel, there's an unsubscribe at the bottom of every email.
I've been a member of your team for it has to be over 5 years, I think. It's just absolutely exceptional. Happycustomerhandbook.com. We're talking.
Okay, it is the Happy Customer Handbook.
The happycustomerhandbook.com.
Happycustomerhandbook.com. That's the place to start out.
Right.
And then if you like other stuff, you can request other stuff.
Right. Keith Lee, the Happy Customer Handbook. Thank you, my friend. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it.
My pleasure, Joe. It's always a pleasure.
I never have enough time when you're on. I got 6 more pages of stuff.
Yeah, get me back earlier next
You
time.
got it. You got it, buddy. Thanks, my friend. You are listening to Local Biz Now. I am Joe Vagnone, and you've been talking to Keith Lee, the Happy Customer Handbook. Go to his website. It is exceptional. This is Local Biz Now, where your business matters. We'll see you next week. Thank you, Keith.
Thank you, Joe. Appreciate it.